And hopefully for DNF, even though their season has been so rough thus far, again, when it comes to game score, if you combine 8th and 9th place negative game scores, that's where DNF is at. That's how rough of a split this has been.
Yes.
The 0-18 has been, I want to say, fortunately, not been a thing that's come to fruition.
I think it would be worse. We'd still be talking about it, you know? We'd be like, is this the day where they get their first win? Is the next match the day where they get their first win? At least they have that done.
Yeah, looking at this, if I was DNF, I wouldn't have worried, because going up against DK in a match they need to win, the final end of the split, that would have been a guaranteed win, right? Like, there's no way that would not go in the funniest way possible. As the Rumble does get locked in here for Soboro. It's still a good pick, but it does really feel like we've kind of gone back to the Rumble that you mainly pick up for Equalizer. I think his laning is still fine, but it's not been the old Rumble where he would just auto-win every lane and generate big leads for himself. It's really just about, there are so many champions that synergize well with him. He works well with both a lot of the meta junglers at the moment, because here you can pick Xin Zhao, you can pick Skarner, so you can go in a lot of different directions, and they all work well with him. And it works well with either more CC-heavy mid laners or AD mid laners, right? For example, the Yone is one we always go to. Obviously has been banned away because don't want to give over that trade, as this is not an easy matchup. The Azir into, or sorry, the Ahri into the Azir, I'm pretty sure it was only like Faker and Chovy that won.
Yeah.
We'll see whether that ends up going the way of BNK. There is, of course, a strong 2v2, Xin Zhao and Ahri, that we often talk about.
Yeah. Still trying for the Mbessa. I actually marked it here on my sheet. Mbessa sitting at a 25% win rate over 40 games. That's 10 and 30.
We could have just picked Galio. I'm just putting that out. We hovered it. We know it exists.
There's a million things they could have picked. But
okay, but so Galio is great in lane. They are picking a melee comp, and you have Pantheon.
Yeah.
Valdez,
double semi-global. Works really well together. Very reliable engage.
Gives you a front line.
Now instead you actually have to aim your abilities and be in the right position.
It's BNK. Do we really think BNK are not just going to draft a full rush composite? Like, they're already halfway there. Outside of Diablo going to things like the Jinx, which he's only used as a counter pick, the man is picking something short range.
Yeah.
Might be Lucian, might be, and you can pick up the Ezreal yourself, right? So like, might be Lucian, might be Xayah. But there are plenty of opportunities here to punish what I think is one of BK's biggest weaknesses, which is just being a very predictable team, because they've been the same for, what, 7 years?
Yeah, I co-streamed their Challenger team. It has all the guys that played on their team in past years.
Yes.
Except Career, who's their support.
Yeah, he was.
Everybody else.
Career was from DRX.
Yeah, everybody else has played in the LCK. It's ridiculous. And so they just stay the same.
They do. If you go back to Sandbox, like the original Sandbox in 2018, their whole thing was level 2 gank Camille every game.
Yeah, not predictable at all.
No. Some teams just stay the same. As KT fans know.
Ezreal Rel, maybe?
Yeah. It's not exciting, but the Rel pick away feels good. Alistair is another that I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
I like...
There's your short range.
Yeah, well, we knew.
I was just hoping. I'm like, you know what? This would make a lot of sense. Nah. Kai'Sa.
Which, your lane is... Kai'Sa Alistair, that lane is rough. Valdez. Diablo and Kellen have been suspiciously good in the 2v2. Also, Kellen's Alistar really is the best redemption arc since what? Zuko in The Lost Airbender? Like,
Excuse me?
You've watched that?
No, I haven't. What is that? I mean, I know what it is, but I haven't seen it. Now we're just deciding, do we play...
Okay, there's limits to even your depravity, Valdez.
So
what do you mean?
They're just going to play Gragas instead, which is a good matchup into Alistair.
It's a really good... I'm just going to let this go, but I feel like I should. It's a really good pick here from Live. It's good into literally everyone on BNK. And now that all is said and done, the DN Freecs draft, it's good. It's a good draft. There is a nice mixed damage profile, there's good front line, and the disengage into a full dive composition, absolutely stellar. Will it matter? I don't know.
Should have played Galio as well. Or
can you imagine
Aurora.
can you imagine if you had Galio as well?
Or Ryze.
In top. This gives Dudu more agency though. The problem is just that 2023 Dudu, pick like this, trust him blindly. At this point, I'm like, bro, it's time to lock in the tank. Maybe just accept that right now we're not playing well. Try and play for Berserker instead.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, we can talk about the draft all we want, but I'll wait for the gameplay for DNF. As did you see that sign? That was a brutal sign. It was like a broken down building.
Yeah.
With DNF's logo, and it said, "We're open for business." Apparently, it's a meme in Korea, but that is
damn.
That's pretty dire. They don't mess around with the meme.
It's not wrong.
Yeah. Very, very true. Very poignant here in this one. As we're getting ready, let's hop on the rift for game number 1.
수환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Alrighty, game number 1. I do think the fact that DNF had a pretty good game against T1 recently should at least help their confidence a little bit. I'm not going to give any promises and say that they're going to come in here and win a game, but I just want to see some better gameplay. And I think BNK is a team where they can do it against. I think they actually have a chance against this team if they play their best. Obviously, that being the main issue, them playing their best.
It's just play their best past like 10 minutes or 15. That's all we ask. The early game has been fine. They've been able to get picks, been able to consistently play pretty well. It's just as soon as we get to any macro, any objectives or consistent team fights that things kind of fall apart. Like we will just have Pyosik go in by himself while the rest of the team is not ready, or no one goes in when they should. And they're all just kind of like looking at each other like, are you going to go in?
Yeah.
Are you going to go in?
Very disconnected.
Disconnected, disjointed.
Disjointed.
Discombobulated.
Disorienting.
Yeah.
For us watching.
So, your boy Daystar, you want to...
So yeah, on Sunday I decided he was my boy. I don't know, I felt the vibes. There were 2 fans in the audience that held up his jersey, which has the number 99. Which, for you hockey fans out there, the 2 of you in chat, is the number of Wayne Gretzky, the best hockey player of all time. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this guy's going to come in here and change the vibe of BNK. He's going to be great. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting much. But he played awesomely. And they didn't win, but I was like, I was cheering for him the whole time. I was feeling the energy from the new player coming in, the honeymoon phase of him being on the team. And
now it's real.
Now it's real. Now I'm actually watching this guy. I'm like, he's actually good. And maybe it's a little bit of overhype from my, my whole journey to get here that I just described. But I do think that he actually has potential.
So what you're saying is it took you like 4 months to come around on Diablo, and with Monday, it's just like comes in. Love him.
Love him. Haven't even seen him play yet.
By the way, we did see, this is already this point like a minute ago, but we needed the explanation for this. The reason why the Gragas is good, being able to consistently get the cancel on the attempted engagers from Kellen and denying the knockups. It just means that the one counter I do think you have in this lane is that you have a decent amount of burst and you can get a full passive proc off. You can't do that because you can't actually combo DMF as long as the DNF botline plays it well. That's your boy!
My boy Daystar, he's getting in there.
So
you mentioned this is kind of a hard matchup, but already he's winning.
It's one of those matchups where, in theory, you can see why it should be good. But then in practice, it just never really plays out that way. And only a few players have been able to actually make it work as a counter. We'll see if Daystar can join that illustrious group.
So Degon's telling me that apparently every player has 99.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter anymore.
If
I had heard that at first, probably my hype would have been a lot lower.
But he's your boy now.
But now I'm very invested.
You didn't even like him in Challengers, did you?
No. Oh, man. But recently I did
I thought it was fine.
co-stream and I saw Vikla. He got POG, because they still have POG there, in game 1. Huzari was like awesome. And then just fell off a cliff.
And that happened to him.
I think that's why we see Daystar here in the LCK. Flash comes out, and the Flash comes in from Sobero as the tanking is here from Raptor. Very nicely done. Looked a little strange at first because Raptor was just running away, but then Sobero just came in and killed him.
Yeah, kind of a weird sequence. Normally how those ganks go is, Catelyn does get the knock up, but yeah, it's going into life. He also has Augment, by the way, so it's even harder for Diablo to get on top of Berserker. Yeah, that top lane was interesting. Normally what happens is you always see the Xin just wind up on the turret specifically, but I think he was maybe scared that Dudu was going to clear the wave. So he just went in, and I was kind of waiting for him to flash in and get the knock up. But instead, Soberu flashed in. Raptor really nicely done with when it came to the tanking of the turret. And also, reason that gank was possible because Soberu had already been doing a good job, and also kind of beckons the question for Dudu why he was trading so aggressively when his jungler was clearly not going to be on his side of the map.
Yeah, definitely a good question. Sometimes with DNF, it's better to just wait and see what they meant by that rather than ask questions. As my boy Daystar is falling a little bit behind now. Looks like Bulldog's doing a good job. BFX is now on the top side of the map, and Soberu does not have flash anymore. A Raptor saved his, as we talked about, but Soberu had to flash in to get this. He's level 6. But is he going to see this on time is the question.
Why? Like, he can 1v2 if they don't play it carefully.
Yeah, Soberu's already leaving.
Yeah, no, he's fine. Like, he can ult himself, and I don't think they can really...
They might have enough burst damage, though, even on the equalizer. He's going in, though, as Dudu burning a bit, but it is still going to be the kill. Very close, but they get the job done.
A little spooky there, but does end up working out. Yeah, crucial was that Dudu did actually hit 6, so I wasn't sure if he could clear the wave in time, but the timing was good there. Pioshik patiently waiting, so once Pioshik is on top of him, obviously the ult should always hit, thanks to the W. So nice counter gank there from Pioshik, setting up for a return of gold. No, Soberu is still going to be ahead because this is a cannon wave, so I think he misses the cannon, but he shouldn't miss too much more. But it does mean that we're now looking at a much more equal lane.
By the way, speaking of missing the cannon, I was watching that. There were 2 ranged minions hitting the cannon that had like no HP in mid, and Daystar barely got there on time.
But he did get it.
He got the cannon, yeah.
Of course, as
Again,
we would
I'm very invested.
Every part of his journey.
I do have a bit of a history of like looking at rookies and being like, this guy's going to be big. Even back in my StarCraft 2 days, Wolf will tell you. There were multiple players where I was like, he's going to be good.
You were a carrier believer before it was cool.
Yeah, I was. I even got a picture with him back in like, I don't know, 20...
I think it was like 2020?
I think so.
I do it with
DRX days.
Yeah, I do it with, you know, like any challenger player.
All of the challenger players.
So not all of them, but a lot. Yeah. So it doesn't really feel that special.
How did you feel about Diablo when he first came in?
No, don't you remember? I was like, this was the first POC state of the year. I was like, guys, Diablo's good, and all of you were made fun of me.
I don't remember that.
That did happen, yeah. It's the first, you can go back and watch it. Yeah. And you guys were like, I don't know, Crowd. I'm like, no, Diablo's good.
I think I thought you were memeing.
I wasn't. You did
He wasn't memeing. Berserker in a lot of trouble here. He's going to get flashed on. And there's the ult as Diablo hits level 6, and no hope for Berserker as you're not getting away from the Kaisa. Very nicely timed play here by BNK, bottom lane. And Life, he is just going to get flashed on. Berserker goes down, Life goes down. Diablo picks up a double kill on Kaisa in the bottom lane.
Let it be known that this is a bottom lane that has beaten basically I can't remember quite a strong moment against like Delight and but they like 2v2 Duro and Ruler as well. This 2v2 bottom lane is crazy good, and it's the level timing there for Diablo and the attempts from Callan successful to get on top of Berserker. That really sells it to me. Nicely done in one of the few lanes that we've previously talked about as a consistent threat for DNF. Definitely not looking too hot. But yeah, no, I was high up. I think the reason why is with 80 carries, it's so easy to see because the role is exactly the same.
Yeah.
We saw those with Pays as well, right? Like, it's not hard to judge how they're going to do. As we take another look, they're very far up the lane, but the big thing is that Diablo is literally a single minion off. Otherwise, there's no shot he ever gets on top.
Yeah.
And then Callan also doing a great job here with his CC cooldowns ready in just the right amount of time. This flash, we know this isn't necessary, but for all Diablo knows, there is a Pantheon waiting in the wings. So not going to be the case. 2 kills, both going over to the Kaisa as well.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue. We know that Diablo, he doesn't really need to prove himself anymore. Like, he's an extremely capable player. even though I was a little bit slow on that uptake. I think it was that one quadra kill he got on Callisto where DK just ran into him like lemmings. I'm like, he didn't do anything. It was DK that were into.
Which is, as we now know, the truth.
Well,
both can be
both.
true.
Yeah,
both can be true.
It was a bit of both because obviously he was still playing well outside of that play, but I think that one play kind of warped my opinion in the opposite direction.
Well, he's definitely also had, I think AD carry is one of the few roles where KD isn't everything, but it is somewhat important. And he does have also a lot of games where he just dies like 7 times. I'm like, I love the energy, but we gotta dial it back.
He's perfect for this team.
A little, yeah, he is. Yeah.
They found the right AD carry.
That does also only happen in games where, you know, they're already in a bit of a rough spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, BNK, they're just always the same flavor, and they haven't really been consistently good since 2022. You know, there's been so many glimpses of exactly what we're kind of witnessing here as well. Just the aggression, the willingness to fight, and the commitment to fighting to the death whenever they see fit.
Yeah. Ahead or behind, they will fight. So, you know, if you're a guy who likes action, you could be a BNK fan, right? Because very often you'll just see games where you could sit back for like 10 minutes and farm, and they might have the comp, the enemy might have the comp, but BNK will force the fight regardless.
Yeah, if you like that type of gameplay, look at no further. I want to say look no further than the bros, but it's not even that true anymore because they have Croco and Closer, which, spoiler alert, we're on this team together.
Yeah. More BNK players than bro players, but they're making it work. Ooh, nice play there by Life. Might still be going down, though, as the cast was going to miss, and Life just gives himself up for Berserker, who also didn't have Flash. I mean, that's the best situation, honestly, for the DNF bot lane.
Don't think that's the end of the world. Like, I think Life always dies. They're a nice dodge from Diablo to ensure the damage comes through, and Raptor sidesteps it, but I think Life is just always dead there. I don't really think he has a way to make it out. As long as Berserker lives, it's not the end of the world. As Sobro is like, no cross map. He does need to be careful though, because he is very much on the weak side of the map, and seemingly also realizes that. His Equalizer is available, so could always ult either way, but doesn't look like that is necessary. Is Drake, and another kill over to BNK.
Yeah, Daystar actually fallen decently behind in this mid lane now, as Bulldog has been... It does look like Daystar's looking for these opportunistic charms, and he's just getting poked out big time.
Yep.
He did just get his first item, the Malignance, but not feeling good about his lane situation at the moment. Bulldog doing a very good job on this Azir. You know, we saw Talia and Gwen banned, so I thought we would see the Azir first pick, but they just picked the Rumble instead, which I think that's fair. You know, especially with the Gwen gone, we have seen Gwen be the answer many a time into Rumble, so they just picked that up for Sobero.
Really, the question is, why didn't Daystar just pick a Kali? That's what I'm...
I mean, he could have, but...
Nah, I'm joking. I don't think you should pick it that early.
Yeah.
Do have Kellen on the ward. See if Dudu can threaten to cancel, but doesn't look like he actually wants to go through with it. The early laning phase not going too poorly here for DNF, but they don't really have a... I think neither of these two teams really have a composition where you look at it and you go, you're scaling better. If anything, it's DNF, because I think both Ambessa and Azir feel really great. Ambessa in the side lane and Azir just as a champion into a lot of short range. But with how a lot of these fights are going to go, I really don't think that it matters. All that matters is who gets the jump on the other in the right moment. Both these comps are shotgun comps, right? Like, you shoot your shot, and if you hit, you win. And if you miss, then the enemy team just by default kind of runs you over. And neither of them have a lot of range. Really, again, the most range is just Azir soldiers. So
yeah, it's pretty good range. In terms of abilities, you've got like Equalizer and Bullet Time. But yeah, I mean, at this point, it's still a very even game, but I am worried for DNF that Diablo has so much money. He's definitely the one guy you don't want to have a lot of money.
It's bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's still very early. Doesn't look like BNK is going crazy just yet, especially because the grubs aren't really a thing that you fight over anymore, unfortunately. And they got the first Drake for free after they got that bot kill, so They're just kind of getting whatever they want. They haven't been forced into any crazy fights just yet.
Grubs have more so turned into a bargaining chip and a way for a team to not feel as bad about giving up Dragon.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's fine. We got Grubs. Do Grubs actually? It doesn't matter.
We got
Grubs.
2 Grubs.
Yes, not even free. Free's hard. We got 2 Grubs.
Yeah.
You know, they got Dragon. They're scaling into it, but we got 2 Grubs. It's fine. Does it have actual value? It's fine.
Kind of.
Kind of.
It really depends on the situation. Like, I think the Azir can get a lot of value out of it, but that's about it. Berserker has to flash just for existing in mid lane. Not sure about stepping up to the 2 of them.
That was just an Alistair in full vision.
Yeah, in range of combo.
Well, I
Just not showing the respect the Alistair deserves.
I got nothing for that one, Berserker. That's what I'm saying. Berserker in week 1 would have never made that error. No way. Just walks up, loses his flash. That's a big cooldown gone.
Looks like BNK are going to respect DNF pushing into this.
I think I'm going to look for the re-engage. Maybe catch the wave in mid. Catch wave in top as well. Bulldog, it's going to have prio, but obviously Daystar can join the fight pretty quickly. Bit of a back and forth here. Kellen needs to be careful though, because right now he doesn't have his mid laner here.
Yeah.
Both teams are just going to, I guess, just keep ping-ponging waves. Kellen has his flash and can go on Berserker, who again does not have a summoner, but it looks like the rest of DNF being there is enough of a deterrent.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure from the top lane is the biggest part. Bulldog just able to clear the waves so quickly, and Daystar always on the back foot after losing prio in this lane quite a while ago.
Ouchie.
Yeah. This is just the way it goes. Already definitely going to have some good moments in team fights, but in terms of the 1v1 versus Azir at this point, not going to be enjoying herself.
Your boy's struggling. That's part of the journey.
Yeah. This is just going to make him better in the long run. I'm not worried.
Also, Bulldog, as I mentioned, I do think that he's kind of, I wouldn't say returned to his 2023 form, or even then he was pretty inconsistent, but at least I think he had his moments as...
He's committing to this turret. I mean, yeah, I don't know about this one, Daystar. As in goes Bulldog, and the entire team is top. So really trying to make something happen on a Bulldog who just flashes. And then he finds himself face-to-face with the Berserker, who picks up a free kill. And it doesn't even really look like BNK were doing much else on the map. They are going to get this Drake. That's the one thing. But that was definitely unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't know about the map read there. Because going for that play is, I think, understandable, right? Trying to save the turret. Flashing is illegal, though. You have to know that they're there. Your team is literally having full control as all. This is tricky.
Yeah, we got a TP coming in. Bulldog no flash, though, and the stun lockdown from the Alistair is enough. So Raptor picks up his second kill. And that's a pretty nice follow-up, although it does come a bit later.
I don't think you mind that. If you're BNK, do you still give up the turret? It's also Hextech Drake. If this was...
No, it's not.
Oh, sorry, Chemtech Drake. They got the Hextech.
We've had so many Chemtech souls recently.
Know. Well, Ox isn't here today, so I guess he's...
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't... I'm looking... Imagine if you got Cloud. How great that would feel. Imagine if you got mounted into a composition that, again, will really struggle to chew through you if you have a shield, because both these compositions are so explosive.
Instead, you've got 13%.
So you do have a good amount of healing between the mid-jungle, so that's something. And then maybe it allows you to live through a combo, in which case it actually would be big. That's about as much as I can cope.
You know, I would rather live through a combo with Mountain Soul.
Well, yeah,
than
me
Chemtex.
too, Valdez.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's not a lot of times where players are doing tons of damage at low health. So I feel like that part of the Chemtech Soul where you're actually doing more damage at low health doesn't matter. At least for pro.
I think we see it specifically in, like, Genji T1, Genji Homa, right? Where, like, the fights are on a...
Yeah.
Then I actually I unironically think that the Soul's really good. Because if you're good enough to, when you look at our best teams, to, like, go in, almost die, but not quite, get back out, get your cooldowns, and go. But then I think you actually do get a good amount of, regardless of composition, value from it. With these two teams, what's going to happen is someone is out of position and they will die. that's the end of it.
That's every fight.
Every single fight.
DNF doing a good job so far. They haven't been forced into any team fights, which I think has definitely helped them. But in terms of their map plays, they have been good. Bulldog got the top turret. They got the Rift Herald. They pushed it into the mid turret. And we're going to see a little charge into the bottom turret here as well. Nicely angled. You can just do that. I don't know why we don't see more teams doing that. Nicely done by PFX. And that's already the third outer turret, very low on the bottom lane here for BNK.
And I was kind of being mean to Grubs. Guess what? That's now free out, or well, almost. Bot line is still technically up. Oh, they're trying to punish.
We're just doing the Otacon.
Well, yeah, I think they sold Dudu back. So they're trying to bait them through this choke point. I think they're looking for a fight. They don't have Rumble Ultimate, though. Nope, they're just going to do this.
Yeah, burst it down.
Too late.
BNK are just going to get this as... Oh! PFX gets in! It was calculated all along! And now a big divide right into the bullet time. And down goes my boy D-Star. We do have a kill onto life. But BNK now on the run. They will be able to get away, as Dudu never really got into this fight in a big way.
The flash Q smite combo from PFX.
Wow. I thought 100% there was no way he was getting that, but it was quick.
Oh, they're looking for an exit kill. Oh, I mean, it's oh, they're going to look for the dive.
Yeah.
Soboro does have his ultimate available. Oh, no. That wasn't the best.
It's zoning. It's keeping them under the turret, Chronicler.
PFX has ult. This might be a disaster here. BNK might want to call this one off.
Well, they're going to go for it anyway because it is BNK. Bulldog does go down, but PFX is here. Diablo lives for quite a while, but does go down. Still 2 kills to BNK, but they're so deep on this lane. They're eventually going to take out PFX, though, and it does end up working out pretty well for them.
I don't feel like that should have worked, but it kind of did. Yeah, after that equalizer, I wish it didn't, but I guess it's okay. As look at this from PFX, by the way. Flash, Q Smite ends up getting him the objective, and then here the attempted engage. This combo looked sick, but so Soboro flashes, and then it's Alistair with ult and Xin Zhao, so they don't actually take that much damage. And then here, so Soboro, if you ult the wave, I actually think that's fine. If you ult them, that's also good. But he did not. which is why this gets kind of messy. Diablo, if he ults down, I don't...
He still takes the turret shot, though.
Yeah,
I think so.
Maybe. But he did, and ended up going down. PFX does pick up that extra kill, and now a soul point fight here. Gold basically even, but the flashes are available for BNK. Not for Berserker, not for PFX, and not for Life.
Yeah. It's just a Chemtech Drake, just the first one here. And it does look like DNF, I say maybe they don't want to go for the fight, but now they're actually going to go in on a Daystar, force them to Spirit Rush early, as now, okay, the disengage Blast Cone that was kind of an engage from BNK, going to get the flash out of Bulldog. And now a little fight here in the pit. Another charm going to hit PFX in a really rough spot, as now we got the engage on the top side too. PFX is just dead though, and Kellen is Alistair. Bullet time doesn't really do anything, but Kellen is going to go down as it goes to the Azir, as we don't have Raptor in range for the smite. And DNF looking a good spot to take this fight down. As Raptor just goes in, knows he can't go anywhere. Soboro the same. And a big fight here for DNF as they come back.
Was kind of waiting for DNF to do the DNF thing and lose one of these fights, but they're able to actually make it work. This is one of the occasions where I think the value of that Otacon actually comes up huge. In these type of long drawn-out fights, just a little bit of extra damage makes a difference. Diablo, I love your aggression. That wasn't it. That's an Azir. Can't really. If that wasn't an Best, I think that play makes a little bit more sense. Then this ultimate from Soboro keeps them out of the pit, but again, doesn't really do that much. And then here, that ultimate from Berserk actually splits the fight. So on one end we have Dudu who can deal with the damage, and then Diablo and they start putting in an awkward position. Diablo doesn't have his cooldowns because again, used his ultimate to try and kill the Azir. The front to back from DNF actually ends up getting the dragon. I think Raptor must not have had his smite because he was in position there to smite. So maybe use it for damage.
Maybe
early.
he just didn't want to smite it.
I don't.
Maybe, yeah, he just didn't want the Chemtech Drake.
Okay, well, I don't think we raid Chemtech Drake. Feldas, what do you have to say about this?
He's being carried right now. They need him to step up. Like, some of the charms have been good, but he's just too far behind, it feels like. The Ahri's not getting a lot of value. We see this with our Ahris, where if you're not going in and getting very proactive charms off, you're not doing enough. Especially against probably the best mid laner on the patch, if it's not Taliyah, which Taliyah was banned, and Yone was as well. So Azir definitely the best leftover mid laner on the patch. And yeah, he definitely needs to be doing more. Nice little try there.
And for Bulldog, he's the one currently doing... Looking at KDA, not too much, but we have seen so many of these turrets have been pushed down by him. I think his shuffles in fights have been good. Saw one in the previous one as well. Now this is still a losable game, but DNF, it'd be so cool if you can bounce back.
Just get it done.
Better late than never. We're getting to the point where, you know, like you just want to see them succeed. Like
Yeah.
I can't just keep watching the same thing happen over and over again. I can't take it, Valdez. It hurts too much.
Yeah. That would be like watching the same TV show over and over again, which
No, that's fun.
nobody would ever do that.
No, that's great. That's different. That's not as tragic as this as oh no.
Bulldog, he's going to try to dash here, but we got TPs coming in. We got Diablo over the top. Everybody's missing everything. And so I think Bulldog just gets away. Now Pyojic is doubling in! Oh no! Pyojic is dead. The bullet time is going to get charmed off of his Berserker has to flash, and now they just go for the Baron. There's nothing that DNF can do about it.
Not like this. Not like this. We knew!
You just had to say that, you know, you were looking forward to them continuing with the win.
You cannot put this on. What I said verbatim was, I am still terrified, Valdez. I can't take it. And guess what?
That's true. Yeah.
We knew!
A lot of clarifiers there.
We knew! As Kellen does get on top of Bulldog. Just let life die. It's fine. Just let life die. It's just a Gragas. As long as your jungler's there, Bulldog can TP back. You have an Amethyst. You have an Ambessa. You can... Look how low they are! You don't need to try and salvage that. Just losing life. If this is Genji, they 100% take the Baron. You know, lose your support, it's over. This is BNK. You're gonna get a shot to try and salvage the play. But no. Trying to turn a bad situation into a good one.
It's not the first time either. I feel like that is a lot of times what does happen for their team fights is one guy gets caught, and then everybody doubles down one by one. It's like it's not even like they all go in afterwards. It's Daystar trying to make something happen here. This is what you have to do as they're kind of caught in between the turrets. Pyojic in a lot of trouble. Nice engage from Life though, but that's on to a Kaisa who just gets away. It's 2 kills here for the side of BNK. Sobero has his arm guard. He's going to break it. And that should be 3 kills here over to BNK.
Would have never happened without your boy. I'm just saying, he's the one that created all that space.
Creating space, yeah, nice.
Actually,
it was a zoning charm.
It was a it was a really nice stopwatch there from Sobero, because otherwise Dudu might kill him, definitely gets out. So him not being hit by the ultimate there means that now we are going to see this dragon go over. I kind of hoped that they were going to play for inner as well. So we take another look. So Daystar, he's fishing, playing very far forward. But the real threat, as we know, is Kallen. Look at how he also catches Pyojic just on the edge of that equalizer. So he's just taking down Diablo again. He's taking some risks. And then, again, Dudu. If we TP to our death, we should have done it on the previous play where we made the call to try and salvage, not this one.
I don't know if that would have been any better, Chronicler.
Well, no, it wouldn't have been, but it beats this. And this is not, again, not a call out to Dudu specifically. This is just what happens. It's what happens to a team if you keep losing.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, we can't lose this moment. We gotta salvage just like this.
Yep. Now trying to go in on a Kellen who did go Zeeks. He's doing tons of damage there. Yeah. Pyojic this time going to get caught out. No flash. Just tries to engage onto Alistair. I'm not really sure. Daystar ults for some reason. He's not gonna hit his charm.
He's creating space!
Okay, his Akali is much better than his Ahri. Just believe me. Yeah.
Wow, Valdez hyping up a challenger player.
I can't believe
and
I would do
then
that.
being wrong.
You know, he did look great in his last match against KT, game 1. Yeah. And game 2, I mean, he had some moments.
Now you know how I feel.
He just needs a little bit of time, guys. Believe me.
It's 50-50, Valdez. We've been over this. That's kind of my hit rate.
Yeah.
And maybe
Either
it'll be
they're
for you as
good
well.
or they're not. Yeah. 50-50. Well, it does feel like this is not very much of a 50-50.
It's not even actually over. That's the worst part. Like, this game is not done for DNF. This is a free enough game.
I feel like mentally it is, though.
That's the problem. Mentally it is. You have Berserker level 16, has his free items available, and BNK's comp sucks at sieging outside of when you have Nash. So without Nash, they're going to put themselves in a position of harm. One good combo...
Because it's BNK.
Because it's BNK.
Yeah.
Also, even with this comp, I think most teams would, but BNK's definitely... Diablo's going to look for an old angle. You know who he is. So
He's limit testing for
he's
sure.
also, again, which in this comp, obviously you have to. He's going full AD. Kai'Sa, you can't go hybrid here because you already have double AP solo lanes. But it does mean that he has to put himself in harm's way. Can't just sit there and poke. Is Callan again? He's the real threat. Daystar is just a red herring.
He's just a distraction. All those tails just like flopping around, and then all of a sudden a cow comes out of the jungle.
Look at me!
Yeah. And they're hiding on bush when there's no dragon.
That's no objective, guys. We can just base.
No, but maybe they just face check it. You never know. Daystar's telling them what happens in challengers, and they're all believing.
Guys, I swear life's going to walk in.
Yeah. Soburo, Daystar, and Diablo are all like, I remember this from my challenger days. Even Raptor has spent some good time there. Even Kellen.
Telling you, DNF, they have another fight in them. And they can win it. They just need to believe.
Yeah.
Theoretically. Theoretically.
Yeah.
Because, you know, right now, I still haven't seen Daystar yet. It's insane.
It's okay. He's gonna hit one charm right at the end when it doesn't matter.
He's at some okay charms. But yeah, when there is like 16 kills and you haven't been involved with a lot. Although to be fair, neither is Soburo, and I feel like as Rumble you really should. Kind of a farmer as Daystar.
Daystar.
Wait, he's getting ulted.
He knows we're watching him. He's gonna die. He goes into Zhonya's, and he actually gets away. I feel like maybe they could have punished that, but instead he just walks it off. Here comes the Baron, and I don't know if DNF have the ability to start this. Not with Daystar with TP.
There's no shot.
So.
If it was a dragon, you can definitely push for it hard, but Baron is still a sizable threat.
Clear out the vision at least.
Yeah. Can do.
It's a nice flank ward in mid.
So you can, as DNF, also just trade Soul for Nash. I think that's very worth in this instance. And Diablo and the gang say that is worth, so we're not going to let you. This is Kai'Sa, 80 Kai'Sa, by the way. That Baron is gone very fast. Pioshik in position. The Giga Cone is there.
He's got to get in. Is he going to... okay, he went the opposite direction.
Yeah, no, you get Prio and then you try to play for Drake, but you don't have a soul point set up.
It's not ready.
No, also that.
10 seconds away.
Well,
they just walk over after taking the Baron.
Okay, so it's not soul for Baron.
Oh, that boy Daystar! Yeah, Bulldog's dead. And that does mean that the rest of DNF just has to back away. And it will be Kentixel.
What was that call? So you can push and trade Baron.
Let him take Baron.
You can give them soul and threaten Baron. You can't give them Baron and then just leisurely walk over to a dragon that hasn't spawned yet.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think DNF are still figuring it out here. You said it. They have another fight in them in this game. If it were a different team, I'm sure they would have found that fight or at least tried to. Instead, DNF just kind of let them do whatever they want. Because mentally, they're not in this game anymore.
No, this game is now done. We're ready.
Yeah. Now it like 100% is. Oh, another charm hit. Daystar. Oh, nice engage from Callan. He has been really on point in this game. Like, he is my POM so far, even though I don't get a vote. Ingo's Daystar gonna sail wide with that one, but, you know, A for effort. And, yeah, this game is over.
We've seen this before for BNK. There are very clear carries on this team, and it's Raptor, it's Diablo, and it's Callan. Soboro and Daystar, they're the supporting act. They're the opening act.
Yep, another charm gonna hit onto Bulldog, and he does go down. And Diablo is just unleashed in this game. He's even got an arm guard himself, and he will live at the end. Absolutely just rolling this team is Diablo as he just dies. How did he even die? I don't even know. That's gonna be the end of this game, though. The Nexus goes down, and BNK win game number 1.
Bit of a back and forth. But Raptor, Diablo, and Callan